Welcome to our next Yoga 101 session. Today I thought we'll circle in a little bit more on the lower back. And I believe that that is also an area of the body that many of us notice some buildup of tension and discomfort from time to time. So hopefully you'll learn some helpful practices today. We'll be on the mat this whole time, so no standing postures today. We'll start lying down, so when you're ready, go ahead and make yourself comfortable lying on your backs. If for now you'd like to add some support under your neck and head, maybe a small pillow or so, you're welcome to. But as you lie down, keep your knees bent with your feet flat on the mat, which tends to be the position that's a little easier, a little more settling for your lower back. The hands can rest on your belly and take just a brief moment to close your eyes here. To perhaps notice your breathing. And just notice the way belly rises and falls with each breath. And this can also include a brief body scan, perhaps to notice the feet flat on the floor here. Notice the sensations of your lower back pressed against the mat. Your upper back, shoulders. Notice the back of the head. And perhaps your arms and elbows on the ground. An opportunity to connect with your body before we start adding movements here. Good. Take one more breath here. And if you like, feel free to exhale with a sigh. Good. So let's go ahead and start by bringing the left knee into the chest. Looks like we have a cat joining us today. And interlock your fingers behind your left thigh. And then from here, we're looking to straighten the elbows. The hands remain right where they are, but the knee will move a little further away from you. And to exhale as you bring your knee in towards your chest. Okay, we'll repeat this, meaning to inhale as the arms straighten. And exhale as you draw the knee in towards you. And try this a couple more times, breathing in as the knee moves out. Exhale as you bring it in. And one more time, take a breath in. And take a breath out. Now, keep the hands where they are, but see if you can inhale and straighten the left leg. It doesn't have to go fully straight, but we are looking for a little bit of a stretch in the hamstrings because, yes, tight hamstrings can absolutely have an influence on our back. And then lower your foot back down, and just as you did before, draw the knee in towards the chest. Okay, we're inhaling as our leg straightens, the foot comes up. And we're bending the knee, drawing the knee back into the chest. I'll try that just a couple more times, breathing in. And breathing out. And one more time, breathing in. And breathing out. Good. From here, simply step left foot back onto the mat and perhaps take just a breath or two to notice this left and right in your legs, but perhaps you also notice a difference in your lower back already. And then, of course, we'll try this on the other side. I have a little extra challenge here today. Speedy definitely wants to join us, but I think you're already getting the idea. So go ahead, interlock your hands behind your thigh. And inhale as the elbows straighten and the knee moves out. And exhale as you pull the knee in towards the chest. Okay, all of this can be really light and easy. We're inhaling. And as you exhale, perhaps notice a stretch throughout the hip, but also your lower back. We'll try that a couple more times. Inhale. And exhale, bring the knee in. And one more time. Inhale. And exhale. Now the hands remain where they are, but we're looking to straighten the right leg just as much as you like, feeling a little stretch through the backside of the right thigh. And then lower your foot back down and draw the knee back into the chest. Let's bring breath into that. So to inhale as the right leg straightens. Exhale as you slowly bring the knee back in towards you. Couple more of those, breathing in and breathing out. And one more, inhale and exhale. From here, we'll step the right foot back onto the mat. The arms are by your sides. Feet are about hip width apart with the ankles approximately below your knees. We're headed into the next movement here where I would recommend it's perhaps a little easier for the neck to not use a big pillow under the head. So if you do need some support, make sure it's not too thick. This time, bring your attention into the feet and see if you can press your toes down, your heels, the inside and the outside of your feet. And from here, we're looking to press into the feet and lifting our hips off the mat, finding any height that feels right here to you, and to slowly lower ourselves back down onto the mat. Okay, let's see if we can repeat that. So press into the feet and inhale as you lift up into your bridge pose. Exhale, roll down through the spine, one vertebra at a time, so that your tailbone comes down last. We'll repeat. Inhale, press into the feet and come on up. Exhale, roll down through the spine. And let's try this about 3 more times. Breathing in. And breathing out. Keep going at your own pace. 2 more. Good. As you slowly roll yourself back down, pause for a moment. And then we're going to bring both knees into the chest. This time, have each hand rest right on your kneecaps so that your fingertips are pointing down towards the feet. The elbows are dropped down towards the floor. See if you can inhale and straighten the elbows. Let knees move away from yourself. And exhale, gently draw your knees in towards you. Try this just a couple more times, so go ahead and inhale. And exhale, bring the knees back in. And one more time, inhale. And exhale. Good. One foot at a time, step the feet back onto the mat. And from here, we're going to roll onto our bellies. So feel free to straighten the legs first here, and then take a moment and simply flip around and onto your belly. We're looking to place both hands right under our shoulders. Your forehead is on the mat here. And notice how the elbows are pointing back, so my forearms are not on the floor, but I'm sliding my hands a little further back so that the elbows are lifting off the mat. The feet here are about hip width apart, so relatively close together. And with your next in-breath, see if you can slightly lift your head and your chest off the floor. Again, this can be really small, but notice there's very little weight on our hands, so we are really looking to activate and strengthen our back muscles. And as you exhale, slowly release your forehead back down. Let's see if we can repeat. So go ahead and inhale, lift up any amount. And exhale, slowly let that go. Let's try this 3 more times. Breathing in to lift up. And exhale, come on down. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, release. Inhale. And exhale. From here, go ahead and press into your hands. We're headed up into a tabletop position. Always feel free to add a yoga blanket under the knees for some padding. Hands are below the shoulders. The knees are about hip width apart. We'll start out here by letting our belly drop, looking slightly forward so that there's a little arch in your back. Again, this can be small. And then slowly begin to pull your hips back, lower your forearms and elbows onto the floor, and take the hips back as far as they want to go towards the heels into a child's pose. If your hips are floating a little, you're not wanting to bend the knees quite as much, that's perfectly okay. But let's go ahead and repeat this. So come back up to your hands and knees. Let your belly drop and lift from the chest. Look forward. And slowly lower your forearms down to the floor. And then take your hips towards the heels and let your neck relax so the forehead comes down. Okay, I'll show you one more time. So come back up. Tabletop position. We're inhaling as the belly drops, the chest lifts. And take your time to exhale as the elbows come down and the hips lower towards the heels, child's pose. Okay, for some of you, again, this is not quite right for your knees. You may also try to stay on your hands and knees. Inhale, start the same way, look forward. And then perhaps flex your spine from here, any amount. So just go as far as feels comfortable in your back, looking down. Cat and cow, breathing in, looking forward. And breathing out, look down. So I'll give you a little bit more time for maybe a couple more rounds, either of these 2 movement sequences. See what feels right there to you. Well, I'll take a moment and pay attention to my cat. Oh, yeah. Good. And if it feels nice in your back, feel free to also just land in child's pose for a few extra breaths and take a moment and rest here. Great. All right. So we'll continue with a little bit more work on strengthening our back muscles, which will be somewhat similar to what we did on our bellies just earlier, which means I have to remove the cat. So Speedy, why don't you hang out on the blankie? Yeah, good girl. So come back down onto my belly, onto your belly. Hands are back below the shoulders, just like you did earlier. This time though, open your feet about mat width apart, and you're going to notice a little bit of a difference there. Forehead is back on the mat, and with your next in-breath, see if you can lift your chest any amount. And exhale, slowly lower your forehead back down. Okay, let's go ahead and repeat. So to inhale, as you lift up from the chest, any amount. And exhale, slowly come on down. Try 3 more, again at your own pace. Remember, we're trying to not use our hands, but instead our lower back muscles. Breathing in as you lift. And breathing out. See if you can try this just one last time. Inhale. And exhale. I'll give you a brief moment to rest. You might make a small pillow with your hands. Let your forehead just rest on your hands and close your eyes for just a moment. Notice sensations here in the back. Maybe a little tenderness from having used some of those lower back muscles just now. Good. And then we'll turn back around onto our backs. So headed back into our starting position. We'll repeat a couple more things here, but go ahead and for now, just lie down on your backs. Feet are flat on the floor, again in that hip width position. We're going to repeat our bridge pose this time, though, adding a little bit of arm and shoulder movements. So when you're ready to press into the feet and lift up from the hips, though, simultaneously reach the arms up and overhead. Exhale, roll down through the spine and let your arms come down by your sides. Okay, inhale, go ahead and lift up any amount, even if it's just an inch or two, that's perfectly okay. And exhale, roll down, let the arms come down. Try this 3 more times on your own, breathing in, let the arms come up. And exhale. Breathing in. And breathing out. Last round. Inhale. And exhale. Now keep the knees bent, but as you come all the way down with your back, see if you can widen the feet to about mat width. And let your knees fall from side to side. So again, feet are pretty far apart here, but we're looking to drop the knees over to the left and then over to the right. And it's a small movement, but notice how one butt cheek lifts off the floor a little and then the other. So there's just a really small twisting movement in the spine. Also stretching the front of your thighs, sometimes tight quadricep muscles or hip flexors can also contribute to sort of changing the alignment of our pelvis, and that can easily have an influence on our lower back. So try this a couple more times to each side, and it's meant to be just really light and easy. Yeah, and then to come back to center, we're going to one last time place our hands right on top of our knees, fingers pointing towards the feet. And inhale, start with your elbows straight. Exhale, slowly bend the elbows and draw the knees in towards you. Inhale as your elbows straight. Exhale, bring the knees in. And go ahead and try this just another 2 or 3 times. And then again, 1 foot at a time, step the feet back onto the mat. I would recommend to keep the knees bent, but one thing that you can do that makes it a little more restful in the legs is to widen the feet and perhaps let the knees knock together in the middle. Rest your hands on your belly, but mostly at this point, just find any comfortable resting pose for you and let your eyes close. So in some ways we come full circle, ending in the same pose that we started in. And so perhaps you'd like to here to take just a brief moment to notice your breath. Notice any changes in your breathing. Perhaps there is a little more ease or spaciousness noticeable in your breath. And also feel free to scan through the body just to notice how a short 20-minute yoga practice today might have changed the way the body feels. Good. And to take one last big breath in here. Exhale with a sigh. When you're ready to roll over to your side with your knees bent, use your hands, come on up to sit. And thank you for joining today. Namaste.